Today we're going to discuss how to turn on and turn off your fossil fuel power units inside the PumpTrakr app. We're going to look at the app and just discuss some basics first, some things we need to know before we get into this, and then go through the process of how to turn it on and then set your timer and then turn it off correctly inside the app and not have any problems. So to start, let's hit some basics. If you are the guy turning on and turning off these pumps, you need to go to your inactive pumps list or your active, whichever, and look at each individual well tile. There's a Get Notifications button that you can check or uncheck. That's set so that you can either get notifications on that well or not. If it's your job to go out and turn this well on and off and manage that well, you need to have Get Notifications turned on. If you're an overseer and you just want to know if it's running by looking at the map, but you specifically don't have to make day-to-day management decisions for that well, then you can turn off Get Notifications. But for this example, notifications are going to come through and you're going to need Get Notifications turned on the well that you're working on in order to make this work, as you're going to see in the video. So that's the purpose of the Get Notifications button on each one of these tabs. I'm going to go back to the home screen, take a look at the map view, and show you the well that we're going to be testing with today. This is the Kenny Anderson farm. It's on the corner of CC and 91 Highway in Scott County. Click on the well. The name of the well is Pop City. If I click the Well Options button, it brings me to the Well Options page. You can see it's labeled Pop City at the top left. That's the well name. To the right, Well Info. If you click on the Well Info button, this is a great place to save information like, as you can see here, the valves and the fittings that we need to hook our pipe up. And then I've got a little list here of what size holes to poke in the field. So anyway, this information stays with Pop City, the well, from now on. Everything underneath this line is regarding to turning on and turning off an irrigation section, and that is pairing a well with a power unit and telling it which field and which section it's pumping on, and then starting a duration or a pumping cycle. So the first line is the field. What field is it pumping on? This well only has one field, so that's easy. The next line is choosing which section. Something is just some test data that I have in there, but east and west are the main two sections in this field. You pick one of your irrigatable sections, and then the third line is where you choose the power unit that's going to power this operation. All my power units are in here. Everybody's PumpTrakr should look the same. This is a list of all of your power units. In this example, we're going to use a test device. It's a benchtop mock-up of a power unit so that I can test stuff indoors. So that's the one we're going to use today. And then below that, it says power module type, fuel. That means that the system knows already that Nate's test device is set up as a fossil fuel power unit and that it has an actual module on it, which means control for this device is not in the phone, it's controlled by the power module in the field. And then in red letters below, you'll see the power unit on this well is a fossil fuel type and must be started manually. We don't start fossil fuels through the app automatically. You get out of your truck, you turn it on, and then it'll notify you that it's on and give you some options. Which field, which section, those kind of things will pop up. So I'm going to back out of here, go back to the regular home page that you would see or whatever. Let's just assume this is sitting in your cup holder. You get out of your truck, you start your power unit, check your belts, whatever, fire the power unit up. By the time you get back into your truck, a pop-up notification should come up. This is what you get when you have the Get Notifications turned on, so you can manage every time a pump unexpectedly starts. So, two buttons on this pop-up. It says the pump, Pop City. I just started that one. It's unexpectedly started. I have two options. I can either manage the pump or click the button, it's okay, and leave the pump on. If you have 7 or 8 guys on the team starting wells, they can all have Get Notifications turned on. And if a well gets started, it's going to notify everybody in the list that has Get Notifications turned on that well just started. The idea here is the person who starts it can click the Manage the Pump button and tell PumpTrakr what field and what section and how long the timer needs to run. If you didn't turn it on, you just click Leave OK or OK and leave running, and that way you won't mess with the settings. Whoever the last person is that clicks the Manage Pump button is the one who sets where the pump is pumping and how long it's going to set. So if I hit Leave OK, OK and leave running, this pop-up just goes away and everything continues on like normal. If I click the Manage the Pump button, it brings me to this pop-up where I can choose which field and which section that I want to run. I can set my timer. For this example, let's do 0 hours and 4 minutes. And yeah, I want the pump to automatically turn off at the end of the timer. And then when I hit apply, it's going to apply those changes to Pop City. Everything's done now. So check it and see what it looks like. Click the map. There it is. Pop City is running. Click the well. Started at 7:09 and it's going to turn itself off at 7:13. We go to Pump Options and look at it, and here we are. We have a session information right here. This session is going to run for 0 hours and 4 minutes. Current run time is 2 minutes and some seconds. And then in text it says session will automatically end. That's important, and you can see the automatically turn off pump is checked. If you uncheck that, your text goes away. Wherever this is at the end of the timer is what's going to happen. You can change this as many times as you want to, but when you hit 4 minutes, whatever's checked is what's going to happen. Simple enough. Additionally, let's point out a couple of things. The start pump is still grayed out. It's already running. You can't start it. But the end button is dimmed out and you can't click it and it's counting down. That's because we don't allow you to turn things off for 3 minutes after they start, just to keep messages from colliding and a bunch of weird things happening. This kind of makes everything run a lot smoother. At the end of the 3-minute timer, you can go ahead and shut it down if you want to right now, and go ahead and instead of waiting for the full 4 minutes or letting the timer run out, you can turn it off at any time. But for this example, let's just let the timer shut it off. While we're here, let's talk about session notes. Pumping session notes are notes that stay with this active pumping session. This is a 4-minute pumping session. If you needed to make a note that went with this session, you can. Obviously, you don't need to or have to do anything like that, but there may be some cases where you want to make a note about something in that session, and then later on, those session notes can be available in your when you pull your history forward. So if there's something you need to tell people about this session, that would be a place to do it. All right, we're approaching the end of the timer now. At 4 minutes, a message is going to go out. So it doesn't mean the pump is going to exactly shut off at 4 minutes. That means that the server right now is sending a message. The message is going to have to hit the cell tower. From the cell tower, get conveyed out to the power unit. That can take up to maybe 3 minutes to happen. So don't be too upset if your timer hits its end and the pump doesn't immediately shut off. I'm sitting here at the desk right now. I've got full signal and the power unit is still running. I would expect it to shut off before we get to 5 minutes. All right. Took until 5 minutes, 43 seconds to turn it off. Let's refresh the map. And there it is. It is off. Pump session notes, and we're right back where we started. If we go to pump history, we can see this is the way it's going to look when you turn this on and off with the app. It was started on the very top one, 0.09 hours. It was started at 7:09. It turned off at 7:15. So it took an extra minute and a half for the message to get through the device and out to the power unit and then turn it off. There could be some delays depending on how your cell tower is functioning, how loaded up things are. So just keep in mind that just because you have the timer set for a specific time, it could be within a few minutes of shutting down. If it does not shut down, the device, the app will notify you that it failed to shut down, and it'll still show green on the map, so that way you can look at it and say, well, this one is obviously still running. So that is an overview of how fossil fuels work. I hope this helped. If you have any questions about the video, don't hesitate to call and reach out, and we'll try to answer all your questions. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate it.